Greetings, geeks, and welcome to another edition of Comic Card Crazy. The Bad Girls series continues on, but it is rapidly approaching its end. But we had to get into this one. There was a bad girl who had been neglected for far too long, and that was Shi. Yeah, Billy Tucci Shi. So, really, she entered the picture kind of slowly, but then was in Wizard in a big way. When you're talking like 94, 95, 96, even getting into 97 a little bit, like she was all over the place in the pages of magazine. I mean, on the cover, right? But inside there was a lot of coverage. Billy Tucci became a friend of the magazine. Here's a trade collecting the first story of She. But then it was interesting because it seemed like the character started to evolve. Okay, now this is the Patrick Nagel homage cover, one of the most iconic images. But as you see on the back here, there was a She Psyblade crossover, okay? So we actually have both issues of that, which one of these actually features the first appearance of Witchblade, because this was a nice collaboration, if you will, between Billy Tucci's Crusade Comics and Top Cow. But of course, she also appeared as part of the Bad Girls special. She was one of the top rated. But there was a lot of other interesting stuff going on with this Senraiku series, especially this. So if you look closely, she might bear some resemblance to an actress who was excellent. Oh, wait a minute. Extreme close-up. Whoa! That's right. Tia Carrere was supposed to play She in a movie. She was in active development for a long time as a producer and star on that film. It never quite came together, but we did have Billy Tucci on the podcast a while back, and he kind of gave us the details about the stops and starts of that project. Who knows? Maybe someday it could still come to fruition. But that being the case, like I say, She was just all over the place. I remember seeing these on the wall in my local comic book store. Definitely had her moment. But let's find out what was going on with these cards that were the first time that She was really being presented in that format. Let's check it out. Okay, so here we are with our pack of She all Chromium trading cards by Comic Images from 1995. Tells us here we get 7 cards per pack, and there's mature material? I did not know that was part of the deal when I bought these. Let's check it out here. Tells us that we can complete our She collection, including bonus cards, in style. Get a full color Comic Images 3-ring binder. You get 9-12 pocket pages and 6 free card press sheet. Ooh, so you actually get an uncut sheet. That's kind of cool. They were based in New Jersey, it seems. Okay, so East Coast operation, East Coast creator. So very curious to find out what the all Chromium deal is. Wizard did release a Chromium trading card that was packed in with the magazine. That was probably her first appearance in trading card format, as with so many of these bad girls. But let's check this out here. Wow, so there you go, right off the bat. That is a really cool image. The question I have, as with always these cards, is it Billy Tucci, or is he having some sort of ghost artists coming in, or at least just contributors here? So this says, though she favors the naginata, she has mastered many traditional weapons. When the Japanese invaders outlawed conventional arms, secret Okinawan fighting societies developed karate and modified a host of agricultural implements into deadly weapons, developed from pitchfork heads. And Sai can deflect, trap a sword, while another pierces the swordsman's armor. Ooh, pretty intense there. So this is a background we've seen on a lot of these cards that were being produced based on the Bad Girls. That's kind of interesting whenever they do the Chromium thing. All right, so here we go. She is being attacked by what looks like some type of old samurai whose hand has been pierced. That's interesting. Let's see what this one's going to tell us about. Falling. Released by the demon samurai, She descends endlessly into the waters of her own soul. The bottomless void of the spirit sea rises to embrace her to drown her in despair of futility. Pursuing her into the depths is her relentless foe, still determined that she will not rise again. Yeah, these got kind of trippy sometimes, outside of like the original series, which is kind of a revenge story. Wow, here's another one. That is cool looking. That's a look of determination, intensity, and there's a pattern now we haven't seen before. I don't even know how you would describe that, but that's cool looking, all that chromium behind there. Buzz. Well known for his renditions of Vampirella, Buzz turns his talented attention to Chromium Shi in this classic portrait. Definitely remember hearing about Buzz and Vampirella back in the day, and I am sure they teamed up at some point because everybody teamed up with everybody when it was a bad girl. Well, here we go. Not much going on here. I got to get the rest of the story. We got some dead member of the Yakuza, maybe. Let's see what this is about on the back here. Plenty of story, if not a lot of picture. Death Walk 3. Her Naginata blade is ancient. It is a weapon passed from father to son down through the generations of Sohei until it has come to rest in her hands. It is deadly, shining, pulsing with the vengeance of ages past and thirsting for blood. Before this night is over, the blade will drink deeply, but its bloodthirst will never be quenched. Oh, never quenched indeed. Okay, let's see what we have here. So far, nothing too mature, even though maybe the violence was the mature part? I don't know. But here she is looking a little more demure. The 4 seasons of Fuji. Spring. Spring is Anna's favorite season, as the cherry blossoms herald numerous flower festivals held throughout her native land. On April 5th, Buddha's birthday, also known as Hana Matsuri, is celebrated in Japan with the pouring of tea over an image of the newborn Buddha, which is then placed in a temporary flower temple. So many things about Japanese culture you learned because Billy Tucci did a lot of research. Okay, now we have some power business suits coming at us, but we don't know who they are. Maybe the back of the card will tell us more. Resolve 2. She moves purposefully. Try that again. She moves purposefully, but unhurriedly, maintaining the mask of one who grieves out of courtesy rather than anguish. Anna Ishikawa is merely a business associate of Arashi. It would be unseemly to demonstrate emotion that cannot be justified by loss. All her life has become the wearing of masks, but where is the real Anna? Making you think. Well, we don't know which one is supposed to be her, but I'm going to assume it's the one in front with the checkered print. All right, here's the last one, and that is just a classic image. Look at that right there. And it's interesting that they did chromium, but black and white. This time the chromium is the entire picture, and the border is in color. That's a pretty neat switcheroo there, but the face of death. As she evolved in William Tucci's imagination, she became an incarnation of death so beautiful that her victims would stare into her eyes and yearn for life, even as she took it from them. This early rendition of Crusade Entertainment's Woman Warrior captures the essence of that beauty and deadliness. Very cool. All right, well, let's see which was my favorite. Well, I have to say, the art did not disappoint. I mean, a few of those cards were cut off because they needed you to combine them with other cards. But altogether, I felt like the chromium effect actually enhanced pretty well the art here. Especially, I think it's because the way that Billy Tucci designed the Shi outfit, the classic look, like it has a lot of texture to it. And when you add that chromium effect to it, it really makes it pop and it makes it, feel the texture visually for you there. But even though I thought that last card by Billy Tucci, that early sketch they were talking about of the character, was really intense and great, I got to give it to Buzz for this one. To me, Buzz was just like, I love the look of determination, but it's also, there's like emotion happening. Like that's just a really cool card. Plus that textured background there that, again, is something I haven't seen before. I think that is my winner for this set. All right, so what is going on? We are going to close out. Our next episode is going to be our last of the Bad Girls series. It's been a pretty long one. There were a lot more cards than I thought of. So we are going to be talking about a bad girl who was like on the fringe. I feel like she was always being talked about, and I was hearing about this character. I even remember seeing an action figure, but I didn't ever read Warrior Nun Ariella. Okay, so this will close out our series. This is going to be a really interesting take. I do want to say there is a bonus edition of Comic Card Crazy. If you haven't joined our Patreon yet, we did open another fringe bad girl, which was Razor by London Night Studios. The series is called Razor Metal and Flesh, and there were some surprises in there. I just thought it might be too hot for YouTube, so that was a Patreon exclusive. So if that's something you want to check out, you could just sign up for $5 a month, patreon.com/Wizards Comics. But otherwise, just stay connected with us on social media at Wizards Comics, at Wizards_Comics on Instagram. Find us at wizardscomics.com if you want to get all the back issues. Go into the archives of this show we've been doing for 4 years, coming up on 5, which is crazy. But again, thank you so much for checking out this video and see what else we have to offer. In the meantime, though, keep your books bagged and boarded.